Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. We're going to do a love reading today, taking a look at what is going on now with the person you were dealing with. Remember, though, it is a general reading, so it won't be for everyone, unfortunately. So take what resonates and leave the rest. However, if you are interested in personal readings, I have a half-price sale on at the moment until the end of October. And if you are interested in astrology or learning tarot, I will be launching my new channel on the 16th of October. So let's see what is going on. Overall energy of the reading is the Nine of Pentacles. Could be more of a focus on some of you single, I was going to say Librans, single Aries. The reason I was going to say Librans is because of this Justice card. There is a particular focus, though it does seem with this Nine of Pentacles, that some of you could be in like your highest vibration or particularly doing well independently. And a lot of people may be noticing that. There is an energy or dynamic here, though, as well, to do with, for some of you, a potential connection where someone may be acting kind of detached and as if they are single and not necessarily fully focused on the connection and being part of a partnership. And there's a message, though, here first for some of you single Aries, particularly if maybe you've been out of the relationship for a while, you've healed over it, you're in a good position. There could be a kind of influx of attention and offers, and potentially a match that is more higher vibrational or at where you are right now, that could lead to a long-term partnership with that Justice energy. So there is a feeling there for some of you single Aries, there may be a particular person or partnership that could be coming in due to the healing you've done after either a relationship breakup or after being single for some time and working on yourself. This would be particularly a high value person. Although, as I was going to say that, I kind of wanted to laugh. You know those alpha males who say they're like a high value male? Usually that's not the case, particularly if you're having to give yourself that title. But I think this is more to do where maybe you're not so much focused on love at the moment, you're focused on yourself, and you've been doing the work on yourself, which draws in a connection that is more about a partnership and working and building together. Could be tied into your finances as well, or your independence. We'll see what else is going to come out, because there is a feeling here of a potential push or pull with maybe someone who is kind of acting single in a connection, not in terms of like third party energy or chasing other people, but more them focusing on themselves and not really considering the connection or the balance between the two. And again, there could be an energy here that is tying into work, particularly if you are self-employed. The blocks and the challenges here are the Three of Pentacles, that partnership or foundation, but with the energy of the Four of Cups attached to it, which is one of stagnation, dissatisfaction, being undervalued sometimes, kind of a Five of Pentacles feel as well, or where someone isn't giving you the worth and respect that you deserve. Someone as well could have here much more of a focus on their work, not you guys, the person you're dealing with, as opposed to the relationship and the connection. And this in turn then comes at the detriment of the connection. But it seems there's a lot of unsatisfactory energy with what you're receiving from the other person. It's not like you're asking them to sacrifice their independence or the things they need to focus on. But the main focus here is justice, which part of that is to do with balance. So not necessarily focusing too heavily on one area, or if someone you're dealing with is very focused on work to the detriment of yourself and the connection, because we've got someone here, Aries, that you're dealing with where you're feeling like they're not seeing your full worth, you're feeling undervalued, underappreciated, and they've got some kind of focus either on themselves or their work that is coming at the cost of the relationship. And then there's an energy of stagnation there with where it is kind of going. But I'm wondering how much of this they're actually aware of, because there's an energy here of someone who is maybe starting to become a bit complacent, taking you for granted. Let's have a look at what is going on in their energy. Their intentions are the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles. It seems like they've got a heavy focus on their future, but I say their future specifically could be some type of financial or work-based issue that is going on for them that they're then kind of not noticing, because that's causing them stress or taking their focus. They're not noticing how that then they're kind of unintentionally ignoring you. But there seems to be an energy here of something where they're trying to deal with the situation on their own, as opposed to letting you in, talking about it, maybe receiving help. This person is focused on the long term with you, but in a more passive way. And that Nine of Swords energy seems to be something else that they're actually anxious about. And that's where their energy and focus is at the moment, on trying to fix that. Could be based around just having a genuinely heavy workload, or some particular goal, ambition tied into themselves or their work that is taking up all their focus. So it's kind of like that energy of, say, when you're at uni or something and you've got a project due and everything else falls by the wayside, and it's like, I've got to get this done. But there's a very detached energy here, as opposed to them leaning into the partnership with yourself, or even depending on if this isn't someone that you're actually physically in a relationship, even sort of not like letting you in and knowing of like, look, I get that I've kind of been sort of avoidant, not putting much energy into the two of us, but I've got this going on that is causing me a great amount of stress that I'm really trying to deal with. So there's definitely some communication issues here as well, but it seems someone who is probably doing very well in their career, or there's a focus on the financial side of things because of the feeling of that Five of Pentacles energy and difficulties that they're trying to deal with. But there's a big issue here of they're completely trying to deal with it by themselves. They're leaving you out of the cold, not informing you about it. And then they're also not taking into account how that energy and what they're focused on has a negative effect and impact on you and the connection. And so it sort of has you feeling undervalued, underappreciated, not getting what you want and what you need out of the connection. Their actions are showing up as the High Priestess and the Nine of Wands. So there's a complete detached energy here. There's a reason for it, like logical, fair reason, because of something that requires their time and attention at the moment, where there's kind of a deadline or some sort of difficulty tied into that, which brings about this Nine of Swords and Nine of Wands energy. And then the High Priestess is that energy of not sort of taking action and not really picking up on the energy of how it's affecting you. So there is a logical reason why they're being more kind of detached, but at the very least, because obviously if you're in a physical relationship with this person, then the two of you should be working through it together. if this is more the energy of someone you're kind of dating or you're involved with and they've put you on the back burner, they should at the very least kind of communicate with you what is going on, so you know sort of the reason behind it. And that, because from your perspective, and it does seem they need to attain justice in terms of balance, because this also isn't fair on you. Although they have a real reason for it, it isn't fair on you. But it seems they need to get balance maintained within various areas of their life to then be able to turn their attention more to the connection or what is going on with you. But they do have that long-term intention there, but they've got a bit of a blindfold on at the moment with what is going on. Where the energy is going is the Three of Cups. So whatever it is that is causing them stress, and the Queen of Swords in reverse, it does seem like they managed to get it under control or they are successful. So this could be something either trying to gain some type of promotion, finish some type of work off where there is potentially a deadline or some type of issue around money and finances. There feels like there's a deadline or something attached to it where they've either got to have a certain thing finished by then, or they have to have enough resources by that point. So there is an end point here coming up. The problem is with the Queen of Swords in reverse, it doesn't seem that they turn their attention to the connection or communicate this with you until they've actually reached that point, which then does provide a positive resolution. But in the meantime, you're kind of getting fed up with feeling like they're not paying you any attention or worth, and feeling kind of disconnected and left out. So there is that end goal of getting things back under control and to a positive place with that Three of Cups. But the problem is the lack of communication before that happens, which also as well with the Queen of Swords in reverse here, Libran energy, the opposing side to you, Aries, may come through where you may kind of come to a head because you may get very sick and frustrated and like, I've had enough of sort of feeling like this and being treated like this. So then that Queen of Swords in reverse energy can sometimes be the more combative side of things, where it may come to a head in an argument, which then provides that Three of Cups resolution. So it's either they finish it off and then they talk to you, or you get kind of fed up with the situation, blow up at them, which then leads to that Three of Cups. So there is a positive resolution and an understanding of why that the energy is taking place at the moment. But the issue is that lack of communication, at least. So there is a message for crosswords here. If you are stressing about something, maybe take into consideration how your Nine of Pentacles energy is affecting Aries, and actually tell them what is going on. And for some of you, maybe if you also tell them what is going on, they may be able, Aries may be able to help you out. So with that, we get to this Three of Cups, positive resolution and celebration quicker instead of later, and also so that we can potentially avoid a argument, a bust up. Anyway, guys, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it and it resonated. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, though, it is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. However, if you would like some specific information and answers to your own individual situations, you can check out the sale on personal readings in the description box below. Cheers.